Test. Do I sound normal right now? For whatever reason, no, Darkstorm, thanks for resubbing. For whatever reason, the voice commands didn't seem to be working. Yes, that is a very expensive hello. Hey, Stilling. Hey, Raimu. I am back from vacation. I am not sure exactly what we're going to be working on yet. I just took medication because I've been coughing my lungs out. But I'm hoping today is good. And really, all I need to be able to do is focus for long enough and apply some mental energy here. If I get tired and I end after like 2 hours or something, I'm fine with that. But it's always rough when I just can't come up with anything at all. Mike sounds funny. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Because I'm not sure what this is using. And it might be the wrong one. Let me click this. Okay, is that better or different at all? It's also possible that my voice is a little bit different because I am sick, but I think you'd be able to tell if that's what's happening. I don't know if it even just switched. It looks like it's still using the same one. And it should be using this microphone. I guess I can... If I do this, yeah, I think it's right. Why didn't the voice command though? Let me try something. Engage privacy mode. Yeah, I don't... Oh, wait, no, that did work. Okay. Maybe... I don't know, whatever. Well, yeah, keep an eye on this. If it does sound bad or different, let me know. I think I've got some updates. Let's see. All right, so yeah, first day back, gotta plan the sprint. I edited this. Oh yeah, I worked on music yesterday. So I actually got back from the vacation on Monday, I think. And then yesterday I started working on this track again. And I made some pretty good progress. It's kind of a slog to get through this because I'm never sure that what I'm doing is right. Yeah, I'll probably play this at some point. It's not really totally ready yet. Then Darkstorm made a graphical change to Jump Royale. So the first time we play that, you'll be able to see. And also I started wearing a bracelet, apparently. we went to a wedding and there was a Buddhist ceremony as part of the wedding. And they had these little bags for everybody and there was a bracelet inside. And so I just put it on because I thought, oh, this must be what we're supposed to do. And then my wife was like, that looks really good. You should keep that on. So for the first time in my life, I guess I'm wearing a bracelet. I've got some upcoming sessions with various people. I will post this in news at some point. Hey, Pokemon. And hey, Meow Mew. There's going to be a mentoring session on the 4th, on the 9th. There's going to be an interview on the 6th, and then a special UI and UX session with Funky Monkey where I'm the mentee. So yeah, I'll post about this in news. Actually, you know what? Let's just post about it now. News. Upcoming segments with other people. I don't know if it sounds funny, but I can hear you just fine. Yeah. Thank you, Meow Mew. And hey, Bigfoot. I'm doing well. I just got back from vacation and I'm on the tail end of a sickness. So it's not too bad. I guess if I'm going to post these, I need the times. I should just post it tonight then. Yeah, I'll post it tonight or tomorrow maybe. I'll just add this to the Thursday list. Am I feeling okay? It's not too bad. Yeah. I had a cough and it would otherwise keep me up in the middle of the night, but I've been taking medication. Every vacation seems to make you sick. I know. I explained this in the Discord thread over here, but part of it is these trips that we were taking are pretty long and I can't sleep on planes. And planes are also just a pool of sickness for everybody. Like they have documents for everything. Yeah. It keeps me organized. Hey, Em. How's it going? Yeah, so yeah, I will share the music at some point. I want to do another session on it maybe, and I don't totally know where it's going. And then that'll make it into the next checkpoint, I think, as the music for the game. Okay, so how about this? Let's start with this thing. This should be pretty fast. And then I do want to plan out the sprint a little bit. It's kind of weird that, you know, such a small project even has a sprint planning, but I think it's helpful. Okay, so this has been open forever, July 20th, and I never actually looked into this. I think the reason why I never looked into this is because I never thought it was that important. And actually, now that I look at it, I still don't actually think it's that important. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna add this to my backup list. Then we won't close this out right now. You find it tough to be creative on demand with music writing? I sure do. I do. And I think that there's a book by John Cleese called Creativity. And I think this is great. It's as an audiobook, it's 1 hour long. And one of my biggest takeaways from it is this, something I actually read somewhere else too. What was it called? There's a book called How to Write Funny. And both writing and music are creative. And the thing that they suggest is they say you have essentially two brains. You have an editor brain and you have a creative brain. And you need to know when to use each one. So the creative brain is like, just produce stuff. Don't critique it. And the editor brain is figure out what's actually good from what you created. So when I find myself struggling, I realize that I'm in editor brain mode and I am just like, this won't work, or this isn't good. And that stops you. That, like, then you start getting in your own head. You're like, oh man, I'm not doing anything good. This isn't going anywhere. The session isn't good. And if I can somehow get into this mode, then it's a lot better. Then I don't feel as like judged, even though it's just me in the room. I don't feel as judged for doing something or experimenting or just trying something out. Did I migrate to 4.3 stable already? I believe so, yeah. Impre Technic, thanks for the resub. Hey, yo. Can't wait. Can't hear you and have to dip for a meeting. Welcome back. Hope the guild is doing well. All right, let me type. Thank you very much. Yeah, yo, you happened to be there yesterday. You'll see the graphical changes to Jump Royale today. Hard to do on a stream too, because people want results and they want to know. Yeah, the stream session was interesting because I think it's a very different content from what I normally do. So some people were really interested in it, but then doing 2 or 3 or 4 streams like that, I think it's a little weird for me because it's like, it's not very interactive. Anyway, yeah, that book Creativity, I think is definitely worth checking out. It's very short. There's like 2-3 good takeaways. It's basically like an essay. All right, what else do we have? File all this stuff. Okay, yeah, I don't know exactly what we're gonna be doing, so I'm gonna also bump this down the list and we're gonna figure out what we're doing before moving on too much farther. Excuse me, really hoping that cough clears up. Like I said, I just took medicine before this. All right, so let's go plan all of this out. What do we have? New player experience. Okay, how about this? Let's start the game up. Let's see what we even did here. I had Jump Royale open just there. Okay. So this is the new player experience. Yeah, you can't move the camera. Click build guild. Now we can move the camera. Hire an adventurer. Oh, I forgot I did that. Oh, I probably never checked that in, did I? No, maybe I did. Yeah, I did. These things just all got set back to a size of like nothing. Cool. Did that also get hidden? I don't remember. I don't think so though. I think it just has a bunch of disabled buttons until you hire an adventurer. Yeah, they're just disabled. Okay, so you click build. Then you hire your first adventurer. Then you get the battle dialogue. So you start a battle. Okay. Now at this point you can go look at the rest of the town, but there's nothing else to really see there yet. And then when we win this battle, an item will pop out and we'll also get a sign over here. Yep. And we can build the alchemist. And when we put the potion here, we get customers. Okay, I remember. This is still a little bit rough around the edges, but at least it's working. And then at some point, you're able to get a storeroom. I think once you get enough money, right? Yeah, then you can get all the other things. Okay, this is good. I think we probably need to work on the resolution stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. because this is one of the most important things. Man, there's so much to do here. Okay, projects. Let's search for resolution. What? Where's that task? Determine game resolution and add resolution settings. Oh, this isn't actually in a project. I see. I forgot I kept doing things this way. Okay, so let's put it in Skeleseller development. Give it a status of in progress. And priority is very important. Iteration is the current one, which ends on September 3rd. Cool, so we're halfway through. If it's Atronic. Excuse me. Okay, so definitely want to do that. What else? New player experience, tech debt, post-battle stats. It's okay, post-battle stats could be kind of interesting too. I think we'll do that one afterward. Make a plan what we're going to do with people coughing on planes. Oh man, it's really just flagrant what I was seeing. There was someone in front of me who I like the entire flight was just like just sniffling out of sickness. And I thought, you're not gonna wear a mask, you're not gonna do anything. It just, what happened to people? Hey Goose. Welcome back to you too. How was everyone's last 2 weeks? Did you have a good time? Were you like, oh thank goodness I don't need to be in this guy's stream anymore? All right, what's the other thing I wanted to do here? Post-battle stats. Hey, Potato. Thanks. Add end of battle stats. Here it is. Yeah. Okay, so let's add this to the project. Skeleseller development. Status ready. Iteration current. Priority, yeah, P1. Okay, so that's it. We should have our current iteration set up correctly. Yeah. So we're going to tackle this task. I don't know how hard this is. Yeah, I don't know how hard this is to do. We need to detect the right resolution and then set the game window to that. I'll probably have it be full screen and also add in settings for this stuff. Lost switching between windowed and full screen mode. Yeah, maybe you can press F11 for this. Been hard to find a new favorite programming streamer. Oh, interesting. This is new. There's a move up, move down thing over here, which was already here on the side. You could just drag it. Unfortunately, there's no edit. I want like a quick edit, that one line. Some home chores are waiting for me. Will lurk and maybe come chat later. Okay, cool. Yeah. See you, Potato. Hope the chores go well. I've just returned from Adam Learn's live stream vacation. Yeah. Hey, Jazz. Yeah, I've got a little blurb on the vacation on Discord, including where I went. I'm not going to say more about it, and I'm not going to type more about it here, I guess. So if you're curious, then go check that out. It's not meant to drag people into Discord. It's just meant to be that I'm not talking about it constantly. All right, maybe by pressing F11 or Alt-Enter. I would need to test that on Windows, test on Windows to make sure nothing, I don't know, conflicts with that. Okay, so I don't know if it's enough. Let's just look up Godot detect resolution. Set up resolution options by following these steps. Navigate to project settings under display, find a section for window. Multiple resolutions. All right, doubled pixel density, plenty of screen sizes. Yep. All right, since layouts, aspect ratios, resolutions, pixel densities can change so much, it's no longer possible to design UIs for every specific screen. Most common approach is to use a single base resolution and then fit it to everything else. Interesting. PC video card, processor usage, VR headset. Do they have resolution here? Ah, here it is. Primary display resolution. 1920 by 1080, 57%. Oh yeah, here they all are. All right, which are the biggest ones? 1920 by 1080 and 1440p. And that's it for ones above 3.5% or so. Then we get into some 4K, some like laptop resolution, multi-monitor resolution. What's this one? 7. Okay, yeah. So just two 1080p displays. Okay. Where did I even? Yeah, there it is. As an example, Steam shows that the most common primary display is 1080. So sensible approach is to develop a game for this resolution, handle scaling for different sizes and aspect ratios. Okay. Hey, Chronic. Thank you very much. A base size for the window can be specified here. However, what it does is not completely obvious. The engine will not attempt to switch the monitor to this resolution. Oh, thanks for resubbing too, Chronic. Yeah. Happy 9 months. Rather, think of this as the design size, the size of the area that you work with in the editor. This setting corresponds directly to the size of the blue rectangle in the 2D editor. There's often a need to support devices with screen and window sizes that are different from the base size. Godot offers many ways to control how the viewport will be resized and stretched to different screen sizes. So, interesting. I kind of think... there are a couple ways we could do this. One is we could keep this aspect ratio, and the actual amount of space used for the battles, the height is not important. You can just take up more or less of the screen, but the width is important. And then what we could do is we could just have it so that the bigger you make the window, the more of the game world you see. So many games have UI elements that go off the screen. Yeah, it is really tough to accommodate every single possible size that can happen. I should definitely ask you at the end of this if Skeleseller looks good for you. Let me add that into the... Consider reaching out to confused Quark. Yeah. All right, window refers to the screen area allotted to your game by the system, while viewport refers to the root object, which the game controls to fill this screen area. The viewport is a window instance. Recall from the introduction that not all window objects are viewports. To configure the stretch base size at runtime. Changing this can indirectly change the size of 2D elements. Provide a user accessible scaling option. Using stretch scale is recommended as it's easier to adjust. Add an extra scaling factor on top of what the stretch options already provide. Good way to provide scaling options for non-game applications. Oh boy. All right, there's a lot to consider here. Engine will never change the monitor's resolution on its own. While changing the resolution is the most efficient approach, it's also the least reliable. Yeah. Changing monitor's resolution also removes any control from the game developer over filtering and aspect ratio stretching. Top of that, changing the monitor's resolution makes alt tabbing and now much slower. Yeah, man, lots of old games did this. That's for sure. There's several types of devices with several types of screens, which in turn have different pixel density and resolution. Viewport node has several functions to handle resizing. Root node of the scene tree is always a viewport. Okay, in any case, while changing the root viewport params is probably the most flexible way, it can be a lot of work, code, and guessing. Godot provides a set of parameters in the project settings to handle multiple resolutions. Stretch settings. Okay, so we need to set this to viewport. And we want it to keep. Interesting. Keep aspect ratio when stretching the screen. If the screen is wider than the base size, black bars are added to the left and right. Screen is taller. Viewport will be grown in the vertical direction. Oh man, this is this is intense. There's a lot to take in here. What are we using for some of these settings? All right, display window. We have the width and height set here. Oh, I don't want the advanced settings. Stretch is set to viewport. Let's take a look. I think, yeah, I think this is what we're supposed to do. Let's finish reading this article first, I guess. We can change stretch at runtime. All right, scale setting allows you to add an extra scaling factor on top of what stretch already provides. I feel like I already read this. Did I? Yeah, I think I did. I don't know. All right, since Godot 4.2 stretch scale mode setting allows you to constrain the automatically determined scale factor to integer values. By default, the setting is set to fractional. When set to integer, values rounded down to the nearest integer. Yeah, so we definitely need that to be on. And the reason we couldn't use that originally is because I will show you. We set this to integer. So this is going to try to launch the game at 1920 by 1080. But because of the window Chrome that's on here, we only see the window taking up this much space, or the game take up this much space. And if I hit enter full screen, then it can finally take up the entirety of the space. And now it looks like the game should. So this is what I'm going to try to fix with all of this stuff, is like, how do we get this to look better? Because what we could do is we could have still have the game window take up the full size and just change one of these things. Aspect keep. Viewport. What if I just say ignore? Actually, let's open the documentation and take a look. There's no description for this. Whatever. Let's just start this up. See what happens. Yeah, nothing. Expand? I wonder if I can change these things on the fly and not have to keep restarting the game. This isn't doing what I expect it to be doing, and I'm not sure how to get that to work. Can I change this on the fly? If I say keep width, what happens? No, I don't see any changes here. No, it doesn't take effect immediately. Because I just set this to fractional and it didn't do anything. Okay, well, I don't know. I want to try running this. Oh, there we go. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so this is one way we could do things, and I think it'll always look good. And it's just going to be how much of the game can you see at any given time. And then you can control the zooming yourself. So if you have a tiny game window, you could just zoom in more. This is one way we could do this. And then if you full screen this. Well, I guess you can get to the point where, oh, interesting. Okay, I don't think you're ever supposed to have looked at the game in this size. I also don't know what that 10G thing is doing over there. I think that used to be off the screen and now it's not. Yeah, we would need to control all the zooming stuff that we have. And even this is really tiny now. And this is showing too much of the game. Yeah, the instances are stretched. Oh, so much for hoping this would be easy. All right, well, what is that set of settings that we have here? Mode disabled, aspect ignore. Yeah, I'll put this here. Hey, Mitch, welcome back. And thank you very much. I've got a vacation command, which talks a little bit more about it if you want to read it. I'm happy to be back, though. I'm happy to be working on this stuff. I really, really want to figure out this resolution stuff that we've been working on. So I released checkpoint number 2, and a bunch of people had difficulties with just the game window itself and reading text. And I knew it was a problem. I didn't know it was such a bad problem at the time. I thought it was like, oh, well, it'll look a tiny bit blurry, but it was like really off. Yeah. Okay, so with these settings, the game always takes up, or the viewport always takes up the entirety of the window, but relative sizes are wrong. E.g., you can see an entire instance instead of just a single room. Hey, Stockton. Yeah, I missed streaming. I missed working on Skeleseller. And it's going to take a little bit to get back in the swing of things. Also, this particular task I'm working on right now is just tough. In fact, I can finally change this. Today. Back from vacation. He's going to try to fix the resolution settings for the game so that nothing is blurry and everything scales well. Oh, okay, yeah, I was busy writing this one down. Let's see. So, oh, also we have a bunch of errors there. Just put this, how do I get that to go away? There. Okay, I want to take a picture of this. This is one way we could do things. All right, now what are those errors? 208 cannot be greater than 96. Is this coming from some resolution thing that we have? Yeah, it is. Where exactly though? Camera 121. Oh, we can't clamp because you're able to see more than you should be able to see? Okay, well, I don't know. Let's keep reading through this. When using integer, we'll get black bars on the sides. Using disabled, it will only affect stretch scale setting by rounding it down to the nearest integer value. Visible area on the 3D viewport doesn't reduce in size. Game should use exclusive full screen window mode as opposed to full screen, which is designed to prevent Windows from automatically treating the window as if it was exclusive full. What? Games should use exclusive full screen as opposed to full screen, which is designed to prevent Windows from automatically treating the window as if it was exclusive full screen. Okay, I don't understand that sentence on its own. Full screen is meant to be used by GUI applications that want to use per pixel transparency without a risk of having it disabled by the OS. When using integer scaling, this is particularly important. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I guess that's another consideration, which is if we have it set to exclusive full screen, it would take up the entirety of your monitor's resolution. And then if that resolution is something funky, then you'll have the game looking like whatever I had it over here. This. Like, this is what I'm trying to avoid, basically. And in this case, I think we could detect, excuse me, we could detect what resolution the game is running at, and we could adjust this somehow. But then I guess we need to design the game for multiple different resolutions. I got to think of what's even going to happen on a screen like what Confused Quark has. 1920 by 1200. Yeah. I think we first need to figure that out. Figure out what we're even going to do with different resolutions. The game is designed for 1920 by 1080. So when we're on a 1920 by 1200 display, what does it even look like? Okay, well, let's finish reading this stuff. Following settings are recommended to support multiple resolutions and aspect ratios. Set base window height to 1920 by 1080. What do we have it set to? Yep, that. Great. If you have a display smaller than that, set window width override, window height override to lower values to make the window smaller when the project starts. Interesting. Should test that out. It'd be taller. Oh yeah, it's taller. What am I talking about? Yeah, interesting. All right, well, I guess I want to test it for a couple different ones. The other thing that was somewhat common here, there's this 2560 by 1440. Maybe we just take the most common resolutions and try them out. So we're on 2560 by 1440, or what is it, 1268 by, or no, there it is. 1366 by 768. Yeah, there. What does it look like? Would it be possible to pre-launch a window to adjust your settings before you load the game? Yeah, it would be. Although I don't think we need to necessarily do that. I think we could detect what size the window is and then just change things and do this based on the first run and then give you settings to adjust it afterward yourself anyway. I just don't know what testing is going to look like for this. Can I just keep changing my monitor resolution and see how this looks? How do I, let me take a look at that. Let me open up settings, resolution, screen resolution. What can I change mine to? I don't even think it works this way. Yeah, I think on Mac, this is all you have. Is just pick what side. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's just these settings. 2560 by 1440. Okay, well, we could test that at least. But we can't test these unusual ones. Yeah, there's no way to do that. Is there? Advanced? No. Yeah, I don't know how we would test this. Maybe start up a VM and set the resolution of the VM. That might work. Force resolution of the VM. Yeah. We're twins. Mitch, you twin with everybody. You're everybody's twin. All right, if you're targeting... So... Oh, wait. No. That's our non-pixel art. Pixel art. Set the base window size of the viewport to the viewport size you intend to use. Most pixel art games use viewport sizes between these resolutions. 640 by 360. Yeah, show more of the game world at a given time. I don't mind showing more of the game world at a given time. I think that's totally fine. I'm just the second version of an idea guy. No, you're the first version. Your twins are the second versions. You're the good twin. Set stretch to viewport. Set stretch aspect to keep. You can set it to expand to support multiple aspect ratios. Yeah, so that's interesting. I set this to expand. If using expand, configure control nodes anchors to snap to the correct corners using the layout menu. Set stretch scale to integer. Viewport stretch mode provides low resolution rendering that is then stretched to the final window size. Left enabled whenever possible. Aliasing and downsampling. Handling aspect ratios. Once scaling for different resolutions is accounted for, make sure that your user interface also scales. It can be done using anchors and or containers. Yeah, although we need a base size set to like 2x of what it normally is. Hey, OXD9. Did a quick test on Skeleseller and on my monitor. It just has the black bars along the top and bottom. I think we used integer scaling mode. I don't remember. But either way, I think that, I don't know. Yeah. I'll need to send you like a checkpoint 2.5 at some point. But then ask you not to actually play it, just to open it. Don't want any spoilers. If UI elements are anchored to the corner, then they overlap things anchored to the center. When they have fixed widths, and UI elements anchored to the center can expand beyond the width of the screen. Yeah. You check Discord. I'm able to change resolutions in 14.5. Let me see. Oh, weird. Wait, maybe not weird. You're on a laptop, though. Also, everything's in German for you. How do you understand any of this? I'll have to look into that because I think it'd be helpful to test this. All right. See if I can change my monitor's resolution to 1366 by 768 somehow. If not, maybe try in a VM. I missed those jokes. I made myself smile. All right, what else do we have here? 3D, don't need that. Scaling this differently, yeah, I don't need that. Okay, so it's pretty much just this, I suppose. And I set this to expand, but I didn't actually try it afterward. I want to see what that does. Okay, I don't know what that does. As for supporting multiple aspect ratios, makes better use of tall smartphone displays. No, what am I doing? Looking at this one. Figure control nodes anchors to snap to the right. So is it the UI that's different? I don't know what this is doing. I gotta figure this out. Godot stretch mode expand. What is this? Here. Keep aspect ratio when stretching the screen, but keep neither the base width nor height. What? Oh, I see. Oh, that's weird. It's very interesting, I guess. Okay, so we get the... We get the letterboxing. Unless I keep the window at exactly the right ratio, I guess. Do a cell phone ratio. Yeah, something like this, I guess could kind of work. Can I say create instance here? Did it make it? I think it might have made it off screen. Yeah, there it is. And it just gets pushed off the screen completely. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is messed up. Half listening during a boarding meeting. Screen resolution panel, advanced show resolutions as lists. Click advanced panel, click show all resolutions. Oh, I only looked and didn't read the full. Ah, this must be what 3D Extended had enabled. Do we have show all resolutions? Where's what's the resolution? 1366 by 768? That doesn't exist, I guess, but we can probably get something close to it, maybe. I'm not sure. But that's interesting. Thank you, Hideo. And hey, Rami. Okay, so I'll write this down over here. Oh no, that's totally fine. I hadn't even read the dialogue. I went to advanced and I just didn't see a list of resolutions and thought, okay, it's not a thing. And to be honest, I actually hadn't even seen that. I only saw things about iPad over here. And I was like, oh, we don't need that. Okay, so I think, just based on what I'm seeing here, that we can't use this expand mode. And if we want to target cell phones eventually, then we're going to need to do some special work anyway. Because if your screen size is like this, how are you going to see any battles? You just won't be able to. Like, we're going to need to custom design an entire UI for that. But yeah, given what I'm seeing here, we can't make use of this unless we anchor. No, that doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say unless we anchor things, but still we're gonna end up with black bars. And I don't think people are gonna expect black bars to show up. We could start the game in full screen, maximized whatever mode, exclusive full screen, and detect your resolution and then set. I don't know, I still gotta figure this out. So gray in this case represents that there's still game window essentially. I don't want that. I actually wrote this down over here. If we have aspect ignore, where is ignore on here? Here. Ignore aspect ratio when stretching the screen. This means that the original resolution will be stretched to exactly fill the screen. Even if it's wider or narrower, this may result in non-uniform stretching. Oh, I guess I had stretch disable, that's why. No stretching happens. 1 unit in the scene corresponds to 1 pixel on the screen. This mode stretch aspect setting has no effect. Ah, I see. Hey, PX. Yeah, the battlefield is off the screen, yeah. Wait. No, I don't think it was off the screen. Could it be off the screen? Maybe it could be. I remember that we could show more of it than we wanted to show. So if I do this and I create a battle. All right, so there's the battle. Can I ever get this to not show? No, but I can get it to show in strange increments. Also, I get, oh, wait, what is it? Is doing some like scaling at some points? It looks like the height of that battle window can change. How is that happening? No, maybe that's only... It might be an illusion. It's really hard to tell, but I don't think it's changing. But the problem we're going to run into here is if you ever are at a screen width of like this, there is no way to show the entirety of the battle without scaling it. You would need to scale it. So I think what I'm concluding is that it'd be a mistake to have this mode And we just need to have resolution settings that lets you change what size the window shows up at. Yeah, so the problem with disabling stretching is that there would be no way to render all of the battles without scaling them somehow, since the window could be any size. I wonder if we could just address that somehow. Like, what happens if you are at a really small window? What if we only allow you to have 2 battles and we just have a minimum size that lets you show those 2 battles? I guess it'd be like this. I don't know what size this even is. Let's see. Is there a way to see the size? Here it is, 1268. But that's going to be doubled, right? So basically like 634, which is a very low width to have as a resolution. And Doin, welcome back. Thank you for the resub. I hope you do end up playing Zelda, by the way. I'd be curious to know what you think. Oh man, I am very, very torn here. Okay, well anyway, they say to just have all of these things. How bad would it be to have black bars in the game? Not yet. Not yet, but yet implies that it might eventually happen. Like, what happens if you play Stardew Valley at weird resolutions? Resolution settings. Full screen resolution issues. I'm hoping someone includes a picture at some point. Bit unrelated to your lower level resolution and window size setup, but one thing that helps my weird monitor size is when the game has a UI size scaling option. Excuse me. Yeah, I think it might be something we want to add, which maybe it's not hard to do, maybe it is. Hey, Captain, on YouTube. You're the first YouTube chatter today. See if we need UI specific scaling settings. I think black bars and anything's fine. Black bars are okay as long as they're the final boss you can battle. Part of the UI was sliding off screen. Yeah, that I wasn't looking super closely at because I guess we have other issues too. Just widens the viewport without affecting resolution, like you see further. Yeah, and the seeing further thing is not a problem in this game. Like, it would be a problem in other games. You can imagine a game like StarCraft where if you can see further, then it's an advantage you have. In this game, it wouldn't really be an advantage, and I don't mind if players can see further, but I would need the battles to get scaled correctly. Man, yeah, like, is there an issue? I guess you need zoom levels for the battles as well, which we had gotten rid of. Yeah, for whatever reason though, this happens an awful lot. I see message retracted, and it happens so much that I think it can't just be individual people retracting their own messages, right? Like, is there some reason that happens on YouTube? Probably bots. Yeah, I guess it could be. I think I've interacted with some of these people. Maybe I'm just interacting with bots. Yeah, anyway, so let's see. How to change resolution, quick guide, accessing game settings. I'm even curious what the game settings are for this. Oh, I think I recall. I think you could just set the size of things, yeah. Testing new resolution. I don't really have any pictures here. Yeah, this. You could set the resolution. Okay, so what are our options basically? Show black bars on the sides of the screen, or scale everything based on the window size. How would we do that? We would, I guess this would almost be like responsive UI and web design, where when we notice that you have this much space for battles, that we just double the size of the battles. And we keep zooming out. When you have 1080 pixels for battles, show them at 2x size. And you have only 540 pixels, show at 1x. The problem is exclusively the display of the minimap. You could have black bars only in the minimap section. I think by minimap, you're talking about the battle windows at the bottom. And yeah, I guess that's another thing that could be done. Show black bars just for battles. Yeah. Could make the ratio square. They suggested that in one of the suggestions they had over here. Where was it? Trying to find it. Yeah, this. Set the base window size to the viewport size you intend to use. Okay, they didn't mention the square thing here. That did just mention that for pixel art. Okay, let's see. Allow the user to choose their preferred screen orientation at runtime. Change handheld orientation to sensor. Well, this still comes down to what do we want this to look like, because the only options are these things pretty much, right? Oh man, my eyes. Show black bars on the sides of the screen, show them just for battle, or scale everything in the game. The thing I want to avoid is having tons of blank space, which is what I had happen on Mac. But even the Mac thing isn't really a problem if we just start up in, what is it, viewport, and then set this to keep. So here's the issue that I have right now, which is like I have a 1080p monitor, but because I have this window border here, the window has gigantic black bars. Like I think if anyone encountered this, they'd be like, this sucks. Like I don't want to play the game like this. But we could just start them in full screen mode, and then they wouldn't have that issue. And now if I set my monitor to a weird resolution, yes, I'd have black bars, but they wouldn't be as bad, I think. Could you put the battle windows in a horizontal scroll view with new battles out on the left and old battles automatically closing after some time? You could, but eventually in the game, I want you to... I'll show you. I want you to have auto battles running, so you'd never really close battles. You just keep reusing them. And I want them to be visible on the screen. That was an intentional design choice. It's interesting though, this idea of just show black bars for the battles, because that should work. I don't know how we would get the scaling to work. What if battles had tabs like a browser? Yeah, but again, the thing is I want you to be seeing the battles at any given time. So if we did things like tabs or a scroll list, it means that some could be out of view. And I feel like then you would just ignore it as a player. Yeah. So for me, I can avoid this by entering full screen. All right, let's try changing the resolution. Let's change it to something else. I don't know what. What was the second most common resolution? 2560 by 1440? Yeah. Let's try changing it to that. Okay. Stream didn't crash or anything, right? You can just see the windows like I can see them, hopefully. Also, that was instantaneous. Okay, so now what happens when we launch the game? Oh, actually, do we even need to launch the game? No, we changed the resolution as it was running, and now this is what we see. Yeah, because we need a 1.5x scaling for this to work. And if I relaunch this, it shouldn't do anything different, right? Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, so in my mind, this is a problem. Because we have... where is it? Here. We have 20% of the people out there on Steam have this resolution. And apparently, I don't know what the change is considering month over month or year over year, but it's increasing. So more people are getting this resolution. And I don't think this looks good. I think some amount of black bar is fine, right? Like 30 pixels or something. And yeah, the only way to fix this would be to set fractional scaling, which is going to mess up all of the font rendering. Well, and the pixel art. So yeah, if we do this, then it'll take up the full screen. But now the font will look blurry for people, right? Yeah, like this. This looks bad. Yeah. What a mess. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I don't know what to do. All right, so we need the, what's it called? Scaling something. We need this scale mode set to integer so that the pixel art still looks crisp and so that fonts render correctly. Just by having the scale mode set to integer, it means that we would have gigantic black bars when on a 25, why don't I ever remember what this resolution is? 2560 by 1440. Don't know if this is still relevant, but since I was looking this up, setting the stretch mode to viewport aspect ratio to keep. Yeah. So if we do that, and that's what we had originally, then we run into this case where we have really large black bars. I don't think it should show the background color though. I think this is just showing like blank space. Hey, Krasner. Oh, also, I've probably blown past the break time. No, actually, it's just barely hit an hour. All right, well then, how about this? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's keep trying to solve this problem. Need to think about this some more. Maybe just black bars for battles, dynamic scaling. Okay, so what you're about to witness is the new Jump Royale graphics. It's going to look a little bit different, and then at some point, maybe Friday, we'll have new UI. So you have it set to int for scale mode. Try those settings, but with fractional. It doesn't maintain pixel fidelity, though, when you set it to fractional. That's the problem. Because you might need to turn a sprite that was 16 by 16 into like a 1.3 times scaling factor. So now some pixels are going to be doubled and some won't be doubled. And it's going to be sort of hard to show. But this is, I think, what makes the font look bad. So now if I just resize this window. So this I wouldn't necessarily mind, I guess. But then the font looks bad. Is there a way to have fonts look good with fractional scaling? All right. Anyway, is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey everybody. Were the new platforms supposed to be a different color from the initial platforms? I think so. I wasn't looking super closely. But the other thing, so Darkstorm also increased the size of the platform. So I think on mobile, these are now more visible. I don't know how many people are playing from mobile. But the next change is going to be, actually close the game. The next game is going to be, or next change, excuse me, is going to be something like this, where the beginning of the game is going to show a dialogue that says how to play. It won't have this much text. But that way it's not just a bunch of text on top of a dark background or anything. So yeah, gonna be pretty cool. All right, back to pain and misery. So yeah, fractional scaling. I think that's what led to the bad fonts. I kind of wonder, Yeah, maybe we need to test this. I originally had fractional scaling and there was some issue. I don't remember, but I think this is going to be the problem with the fonts. Just don't use words. I think having pictures for how to jump is actually a good thing, but you still need words for, like, you need to type join to join, and here's how you find more instructions. Have you liked crowdsourcing part of that mini game? I think it's worked well, like a fun project for people who want to work on it. Yeah, I think it's nice. There is a cost to reviewing code, and Jump Royale is not like under heavy development, I would say. But yeah, it's nice to not have to maintain this myself. Then again, there are some things I'd want to change, which I'm just not changing. So, like, you can't change your settings at the final screen because they don't get saved. Work is starting great after vacation. Well, I looked at this as being one of the two extremes. Either this would be so dead simple that I would change a couple of settings and it'd just be done, or it'd be really obnoxious to try to figure out. And so far, I think we're in the really obnoxious to try to figure out part of these things. So how about this? I want to change my resolution back to what it was. Where is the original resolution I had there? Okay, so Godot, fractional scaling, fonts blurry. Font size is changed by scaling, but blurry. Pinging defaults. Could you just blindly accept all PRs and changes until it breaks something and then work back from there? Yeah, that's possible, but I don't think it's such a popular repo that code would kind of just mend itself. So I think I still need to act as the gateway there. And I'm okay doing that. It's not like it's been a huge cost. It's just that it's not a trivial cost for reviewing changes. And I need to keep reminding myself of how Jump Royale works. Fonts blurry on small window size. Not using the font as size as intended to be used. I mean, we don't have pixel fonts. I'm using a Google font. It's a TrueType font. And I don't even know what the I don't know what the settings are. Okay, well, could I see this for myself, I guess? I think we probably already noticed it. I have this set to fractional. So if I just resize the window to be any other size. Yeah, like I think this looks bad. You can read this, but it just it's unevenly scaled. So this is the kind of bad font size I was talking about. And if I have this set to integer scaling, then we don't run into that problem. And that's the only reason I want to use integer scaling. Otherwise, it pretty much solves all the problems of just use fractional scaling. So it's like, if I could figure out the font issue, then I don't think we'd really have a problem. Is this correct? I think this is correct. Like the font doesn't render poorly. I can't even tell. I don't know. Oh, I have some notes on this. Generally need to set stretch mode to canvas items. However, the mode isn't recommended for pixel art due to how it scales. Excuse me. Huh. Yeah, what should I be doing here? Expand integer. Oh, just use a different base size for the game. Okay, that's something I hadn't considered, I guess. Could just use a different base size for the game. That way we can at most have black bars of, what is it? The larger dimension divided by 2. I think, I'm not sure, but let's try that out. So what do we use here? 640 by 360 is a good baseline. Yeah, let's go try that. 640 by, what, 360? Yeah. What will that do now? This is going to probably be scaled like crazy. Yeah. This isn't going to work. And even with this, how large of a... This is 160 pixels. 160, which is 640 divided by 4. Half of that. Yeah, I guess this should have been 4 on each side. I think the black bars on this are still too large, although they would be done away if I had it full screen. I can't even do anything. The game is unplayable. You wouldn't need black bars. You could just reveal more canvas. Wait, but the problem with revealing more canvas was... that then we need to change how battles are rendered. Maybe that's the way we should be doing this. If we disable the scale mode, then the battles need to be scaled or, yeah, scaled or have black bars added dynamically. Oh, man. Oh, that doesn't reset to what I wanted to reset to. 1080. Okay, so that would be the only other thing we could do here is this. Too bad we can't just set a fractional value. Too bad. So we want to make these double size, and I just need to set... Oh, actually, if I do that, then now I could start all the different battles. And this would be the correct size that they should have all been. Yeah. Waiting for this battle to be won, but it's going to take forever. I guess I can just force a win. Yeah, so battles here are taking up the right size. Then as we increase the size of this, we would just need to add black bars. And then once you snap to this size, we could double the size of each battle. But all we can do is double. We can't multiply by 1.5, for example. So if you are in this intermediate state where you're at 3/4 of the width of this monitor, for example, you'd have a black bar that's this size for each battle or on the sides of these things. I don't know. I don't know. Ideally, what I want is to just use fractional scaling and have the fonts look good. Ideal solution is to have fractional scaling and just fix the font issue. Well, it wouldn't be just fix the font issue. The pixel art would look a little bit worse due to fractional scaling. But I just don't think it'd be such a big deal. In fact, right now, the zoom levels on the camera are fractional. 2 of them are. So if I zoom in once, for example, this is a 1.5x zoom, which should mean that certain pixels get cut off. And I think we're seeing that if I turn off auto battle here. Like if I take a picture here, I don't know if the cleric, let me take a look. Does the cleric have a black border around the entire thing? No. Not in certain walking frames. Yeah, no. Do I even see any scaling artifacts here? Shouldn't I? Yeah, there. Okay, I do. Yeah, like you see the hair has black pixel, and then same thing, 2 other black pixels. And here it's only 3 for the hair. So it is cutting some of these off. Oh wait, no, my bad. No, it's this frame that they're in. I don't see a difference. Can we play spot the difference between these 2 pictures? Yeah. Hey, out of curiosity though, aren't these different colors being used? This is EE2431. Actually, let's just get the eye color. This is eye color through the game. And through here, it's just pure red. Wonder what's doing that. Huh. Strange. What is doing that? Right, I'm not just making this up. Yeah, it is. It isn't the right color. What? Is this a font selection issue? I don't think so. It's a true type font, so it should look good at any size. I don't know if this will achieve what you want, but I think these are the settings you want. Yeah, but a scale mode of fractional, the problem is that then the fonts start looking weird. How did I gotta look into this at some point. I don't even know what could have done this. Figure out why the game seems to render with slightly different colors from the graphics in GIMP. E.g., take a screenshot of the cleric. The eye should be FF000, but it's her eye in my Photoshop file is okay. Interesting. So it's do I have that same color? Huh. Wait, then what? I'm confused at how I even got red. Are they always that color? Yeah. How did I even get this? What? Yeah, weird. When I take a screenshot of GIMP, it has the wrong color in here. Is this shotter that's broken? It thinks this is just like full red. Huh. It shouldn't affect the font since the stretch mode is disabled. Oh wait, oh maybe I didn't try that then. Because that's true, you're right, it shouldn't affect the font. Aspect, expand. Aspect shouldn't matter at all because the mode means that Well, actually, it affects one like very weird case, which is when you use this stretch thing. Excuse me. All right, sounds good, Darkstorm, yeah. Okay, so we can still run into this case, which I'm guessing should be easy enough to fix. I don't know where that's coming from. I really got to figure that out. All right, so wait, what did I have to write down here? Figure out why. We're rendering this thing. And what even is this thing? There's like a random item showing up. Where did I, what is that? It's that. Loot item tooltip. Oh, I see. It's the loot item tooltip. Okay. I just need to hide that by default, I think. In fact, you know what should happen? If I create a battle and then win it and then hover over an item, I should, yep, it just disappeared. Yeah. Okay, so that's just an easy thing. The loot item tooltip is rendering by default and should be hidden. I'll keep the screenshot for now. If you set aspect to expand, it should no longer add black bars. It's not adding black bars anymore. That's what expanding this has done. This is now the game background that's being added. But I guess we still run into the problem of, I guess we run into a couple of problems. One is that the pixel art is going to get scaled now. And two is that the battles are going to take up however much space they have. So it's like we want that to stay at the same aspect ratio that we had before, which means we'd have to have, yeah, we'd have to have black bars, or we'd need to have, I don't know, larger instances so we can just show more of them. Can you lock the battle widths? Sort of, I guess. Like, let's say the battle width is 100 pixels and normally the game window is 300 pixels. So now we have space for exactly 3 battles. What do we do when the battle width is 100 pixels and the screen or the game window is like 400 pixels? So now each battle would be 100 pixels and have like 33 extra pixels to do something with. I went for vacation without buying a new shirt. Yep, no new shirt. But I got this. I got a bracelet. That's my big news. You know what? This is interesting because we could. Oh, what's happened there? We could do something like this. There is no stretching happening. Actually, yeah, what am I talking about? Wait, what does the fractional view even do here? We're not scaling at all, right? So whether or not this is set to integer doesn't really make a difference. Yeah. It only affects if we set this to, let's say, 2. Yeah, that's all it's going to affect. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we do and we just figure out these battle things then. Oh no, you can already see a problem there. It's like a line drawing on top of this. Oh boy. Hey, Thomas. Level 10 bracelet, plus 6 to dexterity. Yeah, it is showing more of the battlefield. That is an issue. And that is something I need to address. Although those signs are also a problem. Are they showing everywhere? No, just there. Is the sprite region correct on the sign? Yeah, it probably is. I don't think there's... Yeah, I don't see any issue with this. Then again, this texture is an atlas texture, and it's atlas.png. Usually this is a problem with either the filter being set wrong or there's one other issue. I wrote this down. Game engine. Bleed. Yeah. Click your project settings default texture filter. Yeah, so the texture filter would tend to be wrong in that case. But now we have a default texture filter set. And if I set this to nearest, wait a second, what? How did I get that thing to show up? Ah, yeah, there we go. It's only at certain window sizes. You can see it show up again. Why is it showing up though? Guess that's a fractional scale artifact. I don't know how that'd be possible though, because I have this set to integer right now. I think it would have to do with not snapping to pixels. No, this is all set to true. False linear map is used. I need to save and restart to get this to work. I don't even know if that's the problem though. We don't have bitmaps generated for this. What's happening is we're getting this weird like 1 pixel boundary here, 1 pixel bleed. The sign has this border at the top, which is probably because the sprite sheet itself has something above it. Where is it? I think it might be this one. Is the sign graphic in here? I don't see it, so that's in the world. Okay, I clearly cannot. Here it is. All right, where's the sign? There it is. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure what it's doing because it's not taking just the line that was above it. Because there were only 3 pixels above it, but it's rendering like a whole line there. Yeah, I would guess that it's subpixel rendering, but I have the snap thing turned on at least. Snap transforms to pixel. Is there like a subpixel thing? Oh, disabled. I need to save and restart this though. Maybe that's it. No, it's still happening. I'm not sure what's doing that now at this point. I guess the only other thing we could try is the map setting that we have. This. I don't think this is gonna matter though. What would even be causing this? Maybe I'm at the wrong camera zoom right now and it's something to do with that. No, it's still happening even here. Then again, I don't have mid-maps enabled for this thing. And I still don't know why this would even matter, but sure, let's try it. Generate, re-import. I would need to change every single asset to have that checked. No, and it's still happening anyway. Nice particles, thanks. Supposed to make this more appealing to click. Oh man. What would even cause that to happen, though? That's the part I don't understand. I guess it has something to do with the camera positioning as well. Are there other sprites to check? It should technically be any sprite could have this happen. I need to not lock the camera. Player, can player move equals... Wait, what? That was set to true already? Does this get set to false somewhere? What? Yeah, what? How can you not move the camera at first if this was set to true from the beginning? I'm confused. This should never be set to false. Unless this just didn't update? No, weird. What? What? Something is disabling this. Yeah, like I can't move the camera, so this must be... Something must be setting this to false. Or there's some other bug. I guess let's just put a breakpoint here. Man. This is going to get hit constantly, right? What is this set to? Set to false. How is it set to false? Nothing modifies it. Or F12 is broken. Oh, yeah. Look at that. F12 is broken. That's... Oh. There are so many problems. Okay, let's delete the breakpoint. So I press F12 on this. It never showed me the town script. If I restart VS Code, does that fix this? Because this has been happening a decent amount where it just doesn't show me all the references to something. Yeah, now it's showing it. Wow. Okay, well, this is what I want to disable. I want to see if this has something to do with it. Because I think maybe it just has to do with how the camera is positioned. We can move this now, right? Yeah. All right, so I do this and I move this around. Yeah, so the camera's positioning is causing it to happen or not happen. And it seems like maybe... Oh, now I can't get it to happen at all. Huh. I wonder if the wait a second. No, there are no errors. I was gonna say, I wonder if the camera is somehow at a fractional position. I don't think there's any issue with it being at a fractional position. And I also think the camera itself has a way of controlling this. So I want to go turn off all the things I just changed. This, for example, I'll restart in a second, but there was one other thing I needed to change, subpixel. Yeah, I wanted to set this back to what it was. Save and restart. All right, I'm pretty sure camera has a setting directly on it that says that it can render at subpixel positions. X center, zoom is set to 3. No, it doesn't have a way of doing this. Is it the viewport that does? No, I don't know. Yeah. Hey, Phil. And hey, is it Chris? Snap 2D transforms to pixel. This shouldn't be required. If true, canvas item nodes will internally snap to full pixels. Their position can still be subpixel, but the decimals will not have effect. This can lead to crisper appearance at the cost of less smooth movement. All right, well, let's turn that on, I guess. This isn't even the right viewport, though. So let's turn that off. And then turn it on over here. All right, can this still happen? Why is it taking so long? There it goes. Whoa. The text is really jittery, but yeah, I guess it does fix it. Also, that looks weird enough where... I don't know. All right. Well, I might as well put this here. It's also possible that you have a, what is this thing? A sub viewport that needs this set to true. Is it just that one? Is it both of these? Oh, interesting. Vertices to pixel doesn't matter. It's just snap transforms to pixel. So if I turn that off, now this problem will happen again? Yes, it will. Wow, look at that. Okay, well, then that's how we can fix that problem at least. I didn't mind the wiggly text. Well, there's no reason to have the wiggly text anyway, because it's for snapping vertices. And I don't think that matters for anything other than text. Okay. So where we stand right now is that we can have everything take up the full size. And now we just have a problem with the instances. Yeah. Okay, so what do we do for this? You have it in project settings as well? Yeah, but under project settings, I already had it changed. So what's weird is that it wasn't rendering 2D. Yeah, I already have these things set. So I think this doesn't work for sub viewport. Not recommended to use this with rendering snap 2D vertices. Prefer only enabling this. Oh, interesting. Whoa, that's super jittery. You see that? Oh man. Is that because I changed this setting? I don't actually know what caused that. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I think that's because I changed the other set. Yeah, wow. All right, well, that sucks. All right, so we turn this off, we turn this off. But if I turn off the one that fixed the problem I had earlier, then I create another problem, which is now this gets jittery. Yeah. Did you enable a setting earlier to only transform things to snap on pixels? Yeah, I did. This is a problem. Okay, well, this is, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure this out. I don't even know where I want to write this. So if I turn on the sub viewports, wait, what caused? I guess it's just a window size thing. So if I turn this off, yeah, it's currently off. And then I scale this a little bit. We can get to a point where the sign has an extra pixel showing there. Yeah. It's hard to capture it there. Yeah, and this is because we're not snapping to pixel coordinates in the sub viewport. All right, I don't know. I'm gonna need to write this down. So if I turn, what causes happen? If I disable the, what's it called? If I disable stretching, I can also run into this problem where signs bleed a bit. That can be fixed by setting this equal to true in the sub viewport, but then the quest indicator will jitter like crazy because it relies on subpixel movement or subpixel positioning. Okay, well, ignoring all of that and just trying to figure this out. So how do we get battles to look good at any resolution? And now we're going to have the same problems we had earlier. I guess we only have a few different options. So with stretching disabled, battles aren't guaranteed to have 1080, what is it, points, I guess? Whatever the term is, and it doesn't matter. I'll just write 1080 pixels to display in. So either show black bars for battles or do the same thing we did for the world and just render more of an instance, which doesn't technically exist yet. And what else? Show fewer battles or scale battles up. Gonna need a pixel font and avoid rotations. I don't know. I'm gonna just worry about that problem later. Yeah. There are other ways we could try to draw attention to the exclamation mark. So that in itself wouldn't necessarily be a problem, but yeah, I'll worry about that in a bit. Just do squish and stretch. The problem with squishing and stretching is that let me just turn this off. We're gonna have sprite artifacts if we squish and stretch. Oh, you're saying for the quest thing. Okay, yeah, that could be done. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I could write that down in here. Could just change how the thing catches your attention. It could bob up and down or expand and contract. Draw every single animated frame yourself. Yes. Whoa. So the issue is we run into a case like this, where we still want the battles to render. I don't have a way of creating 3 battles at once, do I? Oh, I do. Okay. Yeah. This is a problem. So in this case, to show 3 battles still. Oh yeah, but then the UI is going to get messed up too, because we're going to have overlap like this. And scaling down the nodes is going to lead to weird stretching. Okay, well, how do we even scale these differently? Let's put this on the screen like so, and put this over here. So everything is inside of instances view. And stretch and stretch shrink. What is this? What if I set this to 2? Oh, interesting. I don't think 0.5 has an effect. Yeah, you can't set that for some reason. What about centering the battle bar and just putting empty space on the outside edges? Make the battle bar's UI element on top of your map. Oh, so you're saying don't even have black bars, just the battles wouldn't take up the full amount of the screen? Yeah, that would probably work. Just don't show anything in the space where it doesn't fit. Render the map beneath it. Yeah, I think that would work. Although we still have some scaling thing I got to figure out for this. Because if you're ever at a size like this where it's half size, I guess the battle should all be half size as well. Although at that point, the problem is that you wouldn't be able to really click any of the buttons. They'd just be really tiny. Like auto battle itself is this tiny toggle thing already. And yeah, I imagine that would be pretty hard to click. Can we set the scale of these things though? Oh man, it's so hard to manage these windows. Okay. So this slot fill is set to expand. I guess I'd want to change the scale of it. Battle windows have their own cameras because you anchor it to center. They do have their own cameras, but the camera only controls what you're seeing in the background, not the UI. So like if I set the zoom to 1, yeah, so there, I shrank the battle area itself in the background there. So like that's possible. But then I also want to change the UI. Where is that UI? It's end screen or something like that. End battle screen, here it is. Can I change the scale of this? I can, but it doesn't seem to have an effect. What if you set the anchor mode to drag center? What is this doing? Do I need to like restart the game for this to take effect? Yeah. Oh, of the camera. That might work. Let me close some of these dialogues. Guildmaster, guild sign, town menu, town camera, drag center. Okay, well, I'm not necessarily trying to fix this right now. I think what I need to do is just figure out what we even want this to look like. And then getting it to look like that would be our task. But cutting this thing into half of its size makes the text like super blurry. So I think what we need to do is lay it out such that... Wait, did I change 2 things here? I think I might have. Ah, yeah, the anchor. There should be full rect. Yeah, I think what we need to do is just allow it to be smaller than it currently is. So I go to create and win. And yeah, as you shrink this, it should just lay out these controls differently. Although you only have so much space in this window. But that's just Godot UI at that point. That shouldn't be too bad. So I guess it's more a question of getting the battle to render properly. Looks like something is set to a fixed width. Yeah, I think it's the... I don't remember exactly what I have it set to, but those should be easy enough to figure out. I think it's a matter of getting the battles to look good. And I don't know how we're going to do that. Because in this case, for example, we don't have enough space to render the full battle here, so we need to zoom out 1 level. and then it's going to be that tiny. And yeah, maybe if these show up on top of the map, it wouldn't look so bad. But I think the other issue is I'm not sure if what I'm doing here is going to work for everybody, or if something's gonna be off about this. I'd like some assurance about that, so I guess we would need to test. I have this open. I could still just switch to a different resolution. We could switch to something like this. Yeah. Yeah, I think this might work. Man, what a tough journey this has been, though. Yeah, so you'll just be able to see more and more of the map. This is a problem. What's going on? I'm guessing it's broken. Yeah, it's broken because of the size of the screen. Yeah. Okay, well, we need to fix that bug too. So fix the bug where the screen size is so large that the camera can't be clamped properly. It shouldn't be too hard to do. It shouldn't be too hard to do, but I guess we're gonna have a problem where like the map is just not. Maybe we need to change the zoom size. Yeah, and that's probably what we have to do. We should do this by increasing the minimum zoom size to 2 or 4. Okay, so what do we change so far? Because I think I like the path that we're on. We set scale mode to integer. I set the scale of this to 2. Is that needed? I guess that's what gives us the UI looking like it does, yeah. Is it repo open source? No, it isn't. And it's not solo either, I guess, but it's just not something I think I'm going to share the source just for this one thing. Yeah, I think what we would have to do is put the battles on top of the map and not have them take up a dedicated space, which actually, that's not gonna totally work, is it? All right, this doesn't matter. Revert this. This, what do we even change here? Change the anchor mode of the camera. Set this thing to, okay, well, let's just check this in. Hide, what is it called? Loot item tooltip by default. Yeah, that on its own can be checked in. Yeah, I haven't made any other real changes here. I just changed the... I should have disabled the stretch mode, right? Is that not the case anymore? Yeah, disabled. Why does it not show that as a changeover here? It says size mode is 2. Oh, stretch mode. I see. It deleted this. So now it's the default of disabled. Got it. You almost have to adjust the NPC positions along the window size. I think, okay, let me think about this for a sec. Because we have two problems here. Battles may have too much space or not enough space. So show black bars for battles. Yeah, that's one option. The other would be stop having battles take up dedicated height on the screen and instead overlay them onto the map. That way the black bars would just be transparent bars, and the map would show beneath them. Do the same thing we did for the world and just render more of an instance. I think that could be the best solution. But we need a lot more of the tile map to show. And we wouldn't have even made that tile map. And it would only be used for cases like this. Display becomes split screen when the viewport is too small. NPC on left, screen, split screen, enemy on right. Yeah, this is something someone suggested for an ultra-wide display, which is what if when you had a really, really wide display that the battles showed vertically, because we could put them on a different part of the screen. We could also just make them windows that you can control, and you just lay them out how they make sense for you, I guess. A couple more tiles in all directions and not show empty space. Yeah, but the question is, how many tiles would it have to be expanded? Like here, we're showing only a half size, so we would need quadruple the instance size. So that wouldn't be a couple more tiles. That'd be like 22 more tiles vertically or something like that, and a whole bunch horizontally. I don't know the exact numbers. And I don't know if that's worth doing. Allow the user to position battle windows. But then they'd probably want to be able to anchor them too. We just scale battles up and down. Yeah. This will lead to scaling artifacts. So I guess the problem is battles are supposed to be fixed size. The map doesn't need to be fixed size, so we have more of it to show, but we don't have more of a battle to show. Do you want them to take the whole bottom end? Could they not just be anchored on the bottom left if there aren't enough to fill the whole bottom? So the part about just anchoring them to one spot is that if you have blank space, you need to do something with the blank space. And either we'd show black bars or we would overlay them on top of the map and then show the map. Both of those can work. But the problem with overlaying them on top of the map is that you need to be able to see the bottom of the map still. Although I guess you don't have anything on the bottom of the map. Maybe you don't need to be able to see it. I guess what I'm getting at is, like, imagine that there are another, like we can see all the map up here. Imagine if there's more of it and we can just never scroll that far because the battles are covering it. But as long as there's nothing necessary to look at the bottom, like who cares if there's another river down there or something? There's no reason to click that. Like I don't want you to have to close battle windows just to see more of the map. Although I guess in that case we can know. No, we need to have some bit of map down there. Well, this sounds like the best solution. We would need to make sure that the battles aren't covering anything important in the world. Overlay them onto the map. And semi-transparent battle windows if not moused over. Yeah, that could work. Semi-transparent if they're not moused over. I think just not having anything important at the bottom of the world is fine though. Because let's say the world was like 7 times the size of what it currently is, but the action is always in this general area. Like, sure, you could go panning the camera over there. There's just no reason to. And I think that's okay. I think the problem is when you accidentally pan the camera and... Yeah, that's weird. This button stopped working. That is weird. Hang on a second. Plug the mouse. No, there it goes. Yeah, just need to plug it in again. Do you want to break the current layout and only have one viewport? I think we're going to need... Well, we can't just have one viewport. The battles all need to be their own viewports still, but I think we need to change this. This is currently a VBox container where you can see the map just kind of ends right there. And that's so that we have space for the battles. I think we need to no longer reserve space for the battles. Also, I spent so long on that animation. This thing where the first time you make a battle, it expands the bottom part of the screen. We won't be able to do that anymore. Well, we won't need to do that anymore. Not that we won't be able to. But yeah, it just pops into view. Okay, so what are we thinking here? We're thinking that on really tiny screens, I guess battles would have to show at this size, which is unfortunate. That we need to lay out this UI differently. So work to be done is on really small screens, shrink the battle camera. Or I guess depending on screen size, set the camera, oh my God. Set the battle camera zoom based on the screen size. And then float the battle windows over the map. Expand the map a bit so that the battle windows don't cover anything important. And show the battle placeholder somewhere. Maybe animate its scale for showing it. Hey Smoo. Smoo, you'll be happy to hear that Jump Royale is slightly more playable on mobile thanks to new graphics. And we're about to show it because I need to take a break. Flora got that Stardew charm. Yeah, it is a very Stardew-esque vibe, I feel. All right, am I happy with this? Oh yeah, there was one other thing we need to do, which is scale or lay out the end screen differently based on the available space. Lay out, what's that called? End battle screen. Such that it can fit in smaller widths. Should be doable. The minimum width to allow is probably whatever that was, 1366. Yeah. Bad time mentioning them at home. Well, you can still be on your phone at home. Not play for your computer if you want to. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I think we're going to start to tackle some of this stuff, and hopefully this just goes smoothly. Man, I think after all of this, we have to test this on people's like real machines here. After this stuff, get some people with different window resolutions and ask if anything looks funky. All right, is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello. Close the game. Hope you've been enjoying the new graphics, everybody. This is already fixed. And this we're going to put here. Actually, let's just get a link directly to the issue. Resolution work. So float this stuff above. Is there any problem with me doing this? I wonder. Now, no matter what resolution you're at, everything should look, well, there does need to be some kind of minimum here. Yeah. Well, the debug menu is not the reason why for that minimum, but yeah, something like, I don't know, this. I'll just add that as an item to do. Make sure there's a minimum window size so that the UI doesn't truncate itself. Float the battle windows over the map. All right, is there anything else we need to do here before we can tackle this? No, I guess not. I think I feel uneasy about this because I feel like I'm doing something wrong, but maybe I'm not. Maybe everything's just fine. I don't know. I'm really hoping everything is fine. I will say the text does look good and smooth here. Oh, that's weird. There's no background for this. Oh, did that break because the background is anchored to the top, but it doesn't move with the window? Okay, well that's, yep, that's pretty stupid. I know why that's happening now that I see this, but I didn't realize that was a problem. So let's fix that too eventually. Fix the player-wide skill tree, not sizing the background correctly. I just need to make everything a proper container. All right. So float battle windows over the map. Let's go do that. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to still put them toward the bottom. And when you first start the game, you're going to still need to have the battle placeholder. So I hire my first adventurer. Yeah, we need this to show somewhere still. And I think if the windows are floating over the bottom, people are also, they're going to want to close them. But there shouldn't be a problem closing them, maybe. I don't know. I'm so torn. Just so torn. All right, so how do we do this? We need to take this out of here. This just needs to be a control outside of the VBox container somehow. What if we do that? What if we just add in a control and put this up here and then put this inside of it? That does not work. Wait a second, no. That's not the reason why this doesn't work. Let me run this. I think this is going to be an issue still. I need to get to the point where I can hire an adventurer faster. Oh, no, cool. Okay, yeah. So now they are floating and there's just no space dedicated for them. Okay. Because we used to animate their stretch ratio or something. What's it called? Ratio. Where did I do this? I don't know what it's even called. I made some tween somewhere. Here it is. Custom minimum size. Oh, right. I had to do that instead. Okay, but this is of the instances sub viewport container. So this thing can have a minimum size. If we get a minimum size of 288, what happens? Okay, it's taking up space, but is it covering the town? I'm not actually sure. Yes, it is. Why though? Why would it do that? That would imply that the viewport is covering this thing. I guess because the viewport has a width that takes up the whole screen. Is that what's happening here? It probably is. How do we make it not take up the full screen? What is this set to? Layout mode position. Size. Oh, there it is. Let's set this to 800. Nope. It's not that. Huh. Strange. What is causing that to cover the whole thing then? Oh, this has a size of 1920. Oh, because it's inside the... Okay. I guess we could have done it. We could have set this to shrink begin and then set this to a size of 800. And now hopefully it only covers 800 pixels of the map. Nope, still covering the whole thing. Well, we could just take this out of the VBox container. That would definitely work. So I guess let's do that. So this will turn into a control. And the town view is just going to take up the whole screen now. And then this is going to be where the instances are, which now no longer needs to be inside of its own control. So we can delete that. And now this needs a minimum size. Let's just set it 300 by 300. I'm not concerned about the position or the size of this yet. I just want to make sure it floats above the map. Now it says this is not a VBox container. It doesn't have to be. Hopefully. We'll find out if it did need to be one. Yes, good. Yeah, so if I start a battle, shows here. I mean, this is obviously very broken right now, but we'll get there. Okay, so now we want it to take up, I guess, the full screen. How do I want that to work? This is a sub viewport container, and then each instance within it can take up however much size it needs to. So if I set this to 1920 by like 288, and then anchor this to the bottom of the screen. Yeah, except for now it's taking up the whole space. I guess I want it to expand as needed. Yeah, so this doesn't have a minimum size. It's the placeholder that has a minimum size. And the minimum size of the placeholder should be, I don't know, 200 pixels wide. However much it takes to fit the space size, start battle. And that's going from what? Like 1635 to 1725. So yeah, 200 pixels is more than enough. This is still not working the way I expected to. Did I mess something up? Hey, Orangi. Center bottom. Maybe that's the problem here. It is probably that. Yeah, should I just set this to custom position? Size 0 position. I want this at the bottom of the screen. So 1080 minus 288. Is it just not there? Yeah, no, it's not there. I don't know where it is. Okay, this should not be tough, and I'm making it tough. So I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. The battle placeholder has a minimum size of 200, and this has a minimum height of 288. So together, this should be showing. I think I know what's going on. I think it's that because we have a sub viewport here, it's not taking the minimum size of the battle container into account, or the battle placeholder. So I need to do something like this, and I think it'll show. I'm using Godot. Yeah. Yes, good. There's start battle. Click create instance. The placeholder, what happened there? What did happen? These don't have a minimum size. You ever try a code review by an AI tool, something like CodeRabbit AI? I haven't, no. My use of AI is pretty much just for autocomplete, I would say. I don't tend to ask it a lot of questions or ask it to review my code. But yeah, if anyone in chat knows any AI review tools, it'd be interesting. I wonder what kind of stuff it would find. Because I still suspect that these tools are going to get better and better. Okay, so for each of these, we can set a minimum size. And then only when it shows up do we actually want to do something here. This concept of taking up different slots, though, I guess wouldn't be a thing anymore. So I need to rework this. Like right now, we have an instances view, which has slot 0, 1, and 2. But there's no, like, if you have slot 0 and slot 2 taken up, you don't want a blank space in between them. You always just want them to be whatever slots tend to exist. So I think we need to change even how this thing is laid out, which is going to cause a bunch of problems. Oh, man. Yeah. One looks at the diffs without looking at the remaining repo. Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Wonder how it gets enough context then to be able to tell you. I guess it doesn't. That's why you're not finding it helpful. Need to get rid of the idea of instance slots. We're going to hover. Yeah, I can put this here. I just need to type this in. We're going to hover battles over the map. This is because we always want to lay out the battles without any blank space in between them. What is Skeleseller about? Check this out. I've got a little FAQ for it. Also, for anyone confused on Twitch, I am responding to Orangi on YouTube. All right, this does make me think, is this the best way to do things? Because if we're going to float battle windows over the map, then either we position them for you or the user can position them on their own. And if we're positioning them for you and we're always putting them at the bottom of the screen, then fine, I guess. But if you can position them on your own, then you can just figure out where you want to put them. Although you'll probably put them out of the way. You can probably put them on the bottom anyway. And this is probably just easiest for us to do from the get-go. And even if you could position them on your own, we would need to spawn them in such a way that they don't collide with each other. 1x, 2x, yeah. So then I think what we're going to end up doing here, and this is why this is such a shame, is delete the instance slots and dynamically create them. Have I thought of everything here? Is there any other thing I could potentially do? Show battle on the bottom of the map. Yeah. I feel like letting the player position them seems like it's more complex. I think it is more complex. It is more for the user to have to manage. And if the users are always just going to snap them to the bottom of the screen anyway, then it doesn't really matter. The other thing you can kind of do is like what Windows does with the taskbar. You can, on a normal Windows, just type in Windows. Sure, something like this. Yeah, on a normal Windows install, I know this is a blurry picture, but the start bar is on the bottom. Ever since whatever, Windows 98 or XP or something like that, you could right click this and set it to be on the left or on the right, maybe even on the top, I don't know. And that was it. They just had 4 positions. It's not like you could just drag it to an arbitrary spot on the screen. We could do something like that too, where the battles are on the bottom by default, but we have a setting that lets you change them to be on the right side. And then, I don't know, that's it, just 2 2 different positions you can have. And all that would really change for us is where is this thing? And then is this an HBox container or a VBox container? So yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, these slots can't exist. What is this anyway? Sub viewport container. And it happens to have a camera inside of it. Okay, let's go make some changes. Yeah, everything's gonna break when we do this. Because we figure out which number slot we're in, and we're not gonna do that anymore. Free instance slot. Yeah, we wouldn't do this either. No, we need to change the slot number. Yeah, there can't be a concept of a slot number anymore. Okay. We can't even use a slot number since the number could change if a sibling is created or deleted. Mostly deleted. So we need to delete all of this code. This is a little bit daunting because I don't think we can get this done before lunchtime, but I should still try it. So we're going to end up deleting all of this, which means we should just move this into another scene. Save branch as scene. We'll call this... Do we have an instance scene? We do. What is that? Oh, it's got the tile maps and everything. Let me take a look at it. Yeah. So maybe we call this instance slot or something. I don't know, whatever. I can come up with a better name later. Yeah, let's save this. Save as instance slot. And then delete it all. Okay, I better know what I'm doing. So all of this is going to get deleted now. Do we have a link to... I'll just go as a child here. Hey, Sinistella. Welcome back post-vacation. Post my vacation. All right. So yeah, I think we got to delete this whole thing. Is there any reason to keep this? Clear slot when you create an instance. When you create an instance, and we're going to have to pass in an instance slot that would be used. And in that case, we would add this as a sibling. Wasn't making it to stream for a bit. Oh, I haven't been streaming. The last stream was 2 weeks ago, I think. I think to the day. Yeah. But now I'm back. Hope your mental vacation was good. So how do we reuse what is currently a slot here? What does clear slot do? I guess let's go figure that out. Instance got freed. Okay, then yeah, I don't think this should be too bad. We can reuse the slot by just putting a different instance inside of it. All right. Anything else I need to look at here? Set this inside of the slot. Set it to an instance. Okay. And I'm a handful of odds behind. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. Yeah, you haven't missed a lot. Also, I always find this kind of surprising because if I were watching someone develop something, I probably wouldn't go back and watch the VODs. I'd probably just I'd feel free to ever ask like, hey, what did you do in the 3 days I missed or something? Although I guess you have the journal for that as well, which I should probably update for today. First day back after vacation. Worked on resolution. Worked on fixing the resolution of the game, which was more of a struggle than I thought it would be. You're a dragon. Now you're no longer anonymous. The Cinestella dragon. Excuse me. Okay, so delete this concept. I was still looking through all these other ones. We just go through each instance that's there. I think this should still be fine. Get free instance slot. We need to keep track of that somehow too. On repeat. No. Okay. That's fine. I just won't be able to understand what you're saying. That's all, Arangi. All right, on request repeat battle, what was this one? This is invoke it with an instance. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so then I think we delete this. And now we need to go fix everything that this was using. Oh, we also probably need to delete this too. What is this? Slot controls visible. What even is this? What? I think this was... Yeah, what? I think this was referring to what I'm now calling instance slots. Yeah, slot 0, 1, and 2. Interesting. I set them to false. Arangi, I'm going to time you off for a little bit. Please do try to use English in chat on YouTube. That's only a 5-minute timeout. Feel free to chat afterward. Although people usually leave out of rage when that happens, so I totally understand if that's the case. Yeah, so do I need to save these things as well? They're going to be dynamically created. So setting them to visible false wouldn't even matter, would it? And then set it to be visible. Next slot, visible equals true. Okay, yeah. I don't think this is going to be needed. Hey, Matt. How you liking your new keyboard? All right, so let's delete this. Then instance auto repeat. I guess the slot can keep track of this. Yeah. So we probably need a script for that. All right. Dude. Say no more. Where did we add in the instance? Where did we add this? Viewport. The viewport got it. Okay, that's going to need to change. Best keyboard I've ever owned. Buy one. The switches, you got the sunset ones or the sunrise ones? They're two different switches. I think sunrise are the low pro. Where even are these? I don't remember. I know you said it in chat. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. Ah, sunset. Here it is. Sunset have a bit of a sound, yeah. They're a nice orange color. Then again, I guess you don't really ever see the color of your switches. My keycaps are like 90% opaque, so I can kind of see underneath it, but not super obvious. All right, so we need a script for this thing. I was just in the middle of adding that. I did not actually add it. Source scene script. Okay, this is just going to be a control. We don't really care what. And we need to get its viewport. Why do we get the camera? What is it even for? What is it used for? Initializing it? Okay, well, I'm glad we're finally making this class. More just as an excuse to type. You know, it doesn't have to be work. You could just do something fun. Like chat with me. Private camera 2D camera equals null. Cool. I want to override ready. And then get these things. This is not going to need to exist now. And then we don't need a $sign there. Chat's been somewhat quiet today. At some point, by the way, I want to play this and see what people think about this. I've been working on this track and I have not finished it, but I want to know if I'm going in the right direction with it. Dungeon Crawler? Is this a game about crabs? All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, this game. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Why'd I mute you? I didn't mute you. Unless you're Orangi. In which case I said why I muted you. I muted Orangi for not speaking English. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's you. And it was only for 5 minutes, and it's been more than 5 minutes now. All right, put this in a namespace. Cool, we're slowly making progress here. The auto repeat control should be just inside the instance slot. So public bool auto repeat. Get set. All right. And we should probably write what this is. A slot that can contain an instance. The reason there's a separation between this and instance is that a slot may get reused. Yeah, for different instances. Orangi, I'm just gonna time you out again, but this time for longer. Yeah, please try to keep chat in English and actually, relevant to what's happening. I don't mind just chatting too, but repeated spam messages are not helpful. All right, so now we can delete this. And now we have tons and tons of errors to work through. So setting them to visible, setting them invisible from the beginning doesn't matter anymore, so we can just delete that code. Clearing out a slot when you create an instance. Oh, how do we do this? Do we know when you create an instance that you could have created one? Started battle. Town.started battle. How do we know that you can do this? Here, debug create instance. Okay, I don't care about that one. On chose instance party. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about that for right now. So set next slot visible. We need to just create a new slot. We need to know that, oh wait, there's a thing here that lets us return if it's not gonna be possible. What does this do? We then get the next slot? This is not needed anymore, is it? Oh man. Num visible plus plus. Next slot, set it to visible. There are 3 total slots, so when one battle slot is visible, the placeholder should take up 2/3 of the space. I don't even think that's going to be true anymore. But that is, whew, that's quite the question. So what we need to do instead is figure out how many of these we have. Let's just get the instance slots. We'll write a function for that. Public list or I read only list. Instance slot. Cool. This is going to say get children of type instance slot.toList. Sounds good. So what we can do here is we can figure out how many you have at any given time. Although we could also just cache that number here. But yeah, when you create an instance, instead of setting the next one visible, we're just going to create a new slot and use that. To the point where this doesn't even really matter, does it? We just need to figure out what's which slot we want to use. No adventurers available. Too many adventurers starting an instance. Slot is null. No more space. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this instead. We're going to say if get instance slots dot count equals 3, or I guess greater than equal 3, then we don't have space for a new one. But in any other case, we're going to get, rather going to create a new one or use the one that was passed in. Oh no, this won't work either. Oh boy. All right, let's fix this. Yeah, so now here's where we want to do this. If you did not pass a slot into use, then we need to make one for you. So we're going to instance slot equals get the instance slot, instantiate. Okay, cool. This has to be a reference to one. We're going to eventually just change this completely anyway. Instance slot equals null. Yeah. What are we going to do with this? We either need to pick the existing one or yeah. All right, let's do it this way. Okay, good. Don't do anything about that. Otherwise, clear it, get the one that already existed. Oh, this is gonna be so messed up. Yeah. So messed up. Clear slot. Oh man. If the instance is null, return, otherwise queue free that in its battle screen and then set that we've used it. Oh, what a shame. Yeah, there's got to be a clear here. And that's where we're going to do everything that was in this. And this needs to keep track of its instance that's in here, which we don't have. All right, private. Actually, let's do it this way. Public instance. Get private set. And this could be null. It's going to start at null. There. So clearing a slot is going to change to just be instance slot.clear. And this doesn't have a slot number anymore. Yeah, we got to change this. Hey, Pressel, thank you. Yeah, I am slowly getting back into the swing of work. I worked on some music and other kind of catch-up stuff yesterday. And I've been thinking of doing more streams than I have been doing. Still sick. I'm still a little bit sick, but I think I'm thinking clearly, and I took medicine and I'm not coughing very much. So I think I can work through it. I'm just surprised at how long I've been sick for now, because I feel like it started on, what was that Sunday? I think it started on the 18th. So it's been like 10 days. Did you COVID test? No. It might have been COVID. Don't burn out instantly. Yeah. I'm not gonna add more streams just yet. Also, there's a lot of special content coming. When I say special, I still mean free. But this list, which I'm gonna post on the news section of Discord at some point. But 2 mentoring sessions, an interview, and then a session where I'm actually the mentee for some of the UX of Skeleseller. So I'm really excited about that stuff. Yeah, I think special content, if you're a new viewer here, might be like, oh, it's some subscriber only thing. And no, it'll be just on this channel still and on YouTube. All right, so we need a way, instead of passing in a slot number, of passing in an actual instance slot. Where is this called from? 2 places. Here, which is you repeat a battle. We should get its parent. How is this going to work if you save a game eventually? Save a game, you have... I don't know, we'll just need to associate it with an instance slot. And then the other one is started battle. And how does this work? -1. Okay. I can see how this would change. We could just have... Isn't there a hash code for every like C# thing? Every C# get hash code. Yeah, what is this? Default hash function, hash code for the current object. C# hash code. Okay, I think what we should do is give these integer IDs that increase. So we do still want a slot number here. And I think that's going to be much more reasonable than what I was about to do, which is change these all to be references to something that shouldn't matter. So yeah, I think we'll pass in an ID here. Public int ID get private set. So we need an init that needs to give it the ID. Actually, it could just come up with it on its own, right? Yeah. It just needs to be some number that always increases. Public void init ID equals next ID plus plus. Okay, now we make a public static int next ID equals 0. Explicitly initialize. Okay, I guess we don't need that. Field should be private, sure. Next ID should be given with a lowercase letter. Okay, that part I don't understand. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Okay. All right, so we don't want this here. All right, so that looks good. We're not calling init yet, so we need to call init. We only ever make one of these here. So instance slot dot init. Maybe there'd be like a set instance. Actually, I guess this could be done when this thing is constructed. That makes you so. I accidentally opened a malicious link today, which then redirected me to some assumably malicious website. It's then instantly closed. So I doubt anything probably would have gone majorly wrong unless they're exploiting some 0-day in whatever browser you're using. Isn't it only next ID after the plus plus? So it's kind of current ID until it's incremented. The next ID to be used. So if this is set to 0, then the ID is going to be 0 and then it'll get incremented afterward. So now the next ID is going to be 1, which means that the next ID that gets assigned will be 1 and then it'll get incremented again. So yeah, anyway, whether or not I had even used the correct increment, either way, it's going to give a unique ID to everything. And that's all that really matters. Could have obviously changed. Yeah, you probably don't have anything to worry about at Pressel. All right, so I want to call this init. I guess I just want to set the ID when this thing enters the scene. Yeah, like Taz said, actually, as long as you didn't actually type anything to the site. But I guess if it instantly closed, you probably didn't have any chance to type anything into the site. All right, so let's just comment that out for now. I don't need that. What is the problem here? Remove this useless assignment to local variable instance slot. Yeah, because I haven't actually used it yet. All right, so get the thing whose ID matches instance slot to use. Then clear it. So now we don't need that. Clear slot doesn't need to exist. Yeah. Oh, we could have like a get slot by ID. In fact, we probably should have that. private instance slot get slot by ID. Cool. Now put this up here. Instance slot to use. Yeah. Okay, now we have to hope that that actually worked. This should be a question mark. All right, there we go. So if this somehow didn't exist, then we're gonna have a problem here. Yeah. I don't know how it couldn't exist though. We either create it here or it might not have existed in this. So if this is null, then I guess we have an issue here. Cool. So now we know that has to exist. So we can delete this, which means we can delete this, which means we need to change this thing. So we can say slot by ID. Otherwise, set this thing to slot by ID. Null check can be simplified. Sure. Could we do this then? Yeah, we can, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay, so now this doesn't need to exist either. Go through each instance slot, yeah. All right, now instantiate an instance inside of it. So this is where we're going to say instance slot dot init with the instance. Now we don't have that function. Now we do. We don't need this stuff. Viewport dot add child. It's a shy child. All right, now is auto repeat on? What is this? The slot itself knows whether it's on. So this thing can be passed into here. Instance ID, what is that? What is that? It's passed in to create instance. Okay, fine. Oh, right, of course. Okay, yeah, so pass that in here. Hey, Owana. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let me know if you have any questions. I've been working on Skeleseller now for how many calendar months? Like 3 calendar months? I know this is streamed. Whoops, wait. Journal. Yeah, there. That is April 19th. Wow, so 4.5 months. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I hope it helps, Oppressal. Not that I did anything, but just it's nice to see chat chiming in. All right. Adventurers. I guess we need to pass that in too. Oh, I didn't player abilities as well. Oh, man. All right, well, that kind of sucks. But let's pass them in for now. Let's get all these things. And then initialize them with those. There we go. All right, is auto repeat on? It's just going to be called auto repeat. And then the camera is there. Slot.value. What is that? Slot number. That's the ID. Yeah, so we got to rename this too. You just write this somewhere. Rename instance slot to use to be or slot ID to use. Is the save state system automatically maintaining monotonicity between loads? I could never figure that out myself. The save state system isn't totally done yet. And I'm not sure what monotonicity would be for a save state. I guess I think of it as item potency, which maybe in this case would be no. Let me think. For this, I haven't coded anything to even reload battles, so technically nothing is preserving any order. And I'm not sure I want to save IDs or battles. I was thinking for the IDs. So here's how I would typically do this. If I were saving something, I would save the instance IDs in the save file. So you'd have something like battles, and then you'd have a ID 4, and then, you know, the adventurers that are in this. And then I would save something like next battle ID and just set this to whatever it was originally. And that way, when this loads, it's going to get the same IDs that I had. And we'll also make sure that we don't reuse IDs. Because a big problem would be if you didn't save the next ID and then you started assigning IDs that were already assigned to things. And really, ideally, you could bypass this whole thing by just changing this to be a UUID. And now you don't need to save the next one at all, because you can just trust that you're always going to generate a unique one each time. I think that's generally one of the safest things you can do. If you're going to persist IDs anywhere, just make them UUIDs. And you don't have to worry about collisions. Okay, on disable auto repeat, this doesn't need to be here. This can be over here now. But then something needs to stop listening to this, right? Excuse me. Oh man. Yeah, what Kaiser said solves 90% of all problems. For the other 10%, just subtract 1 from something until the problem's solved. So I'll make a private void change auto repeat. Oh, it's just disable auto repeat. And it takes in the instance, but we don't need to do that anymore. Auto repeat equals false. All right, so disable auto repeat. I think we can delete. Oh man, there's so much that's changing here. So we don't need that. Take care, Matt. Enjoy typing on your keyboard. Glad to hear you're loving it. All right, we need a way of removing this listener now. So I guess let's go override dispose. This would be instance dot. I don't think you can even do this. Yeah, you can. All right, so just if instance is not equal to null. There. Okay, then let's set this like so. All right, we're working our way through all these errors. I really hope we don't end up reverting this entire thing, because it would just invalidate all this work. Turn off auto battle for instance. Where is this called from? The user clicking something? Oh, I see. We have an instance being passed in though. We need it to be an instance slot that gets passed in. So I guess it get instance. What? I wrote something that gets this by ID. What did I call it? Get slot by ID. Oh. Okay, get slot by ID, instance.slot number. I guess that needs to be renamed as well. Let's write a note for that. Rename instance.slot number to instance.slot ID. So this dot auto repeat equals false. Yeah. And that needs to be a question mark. Left-hand side can't work that way. Oh, how fun. Instance slot, instance slot. You still can't do that. There. Okay, win all instances. We're gonna go through every instance that you have in get instance slots. And then go through them all and call that. Same thing over here. Good. Now what is this? Instance slot control. Get the one by the slot number. Okay, that's going to change. There. Now add the end screen. What in the world? What are we doing here? Oh. Yeah. Let's just change that for now. This should probably all be changed. Yeah. Which ad block we move to when U block gets removed? I don't know. I haven't looked into that myself yet. Consider moving some of show and a battle screen in what instances manager? That meant to have a period there. Into instance slot if possible. Toggled auto repeat. Okay, so this is a UI thing for sure. And this is going to do get instance, get slot by ID. There we go. We can't do things this way. It'd be really nice if we could. So now I need to write this out the long way. Good, good. And good. Which we might as well write it this way. Okay, now what? Just a little bit more. I think we can delete this entire function because it's not being called anywhere. Yeah, the only problem is this, which possibly we need. Is it going away? I think Chrome is finally switching to Manifest v3, which they've been in talks about for a couple of years or 3 years or something. And it changes what extensions get access to. So I think uBlock is not going to have the full functionality it would have had. Manifest v3 hadn't been in stated. So figure out whether I need this code. I guess this will be pretty obvious to us. Figure out whether I need this code. Okay, and what is this doing now? Same deal. So we always just counted on this existing. I wonder if we can just do the same thing here. So I could just get rid of this completely and just do this. In fact, not even like that, just like that. Yeah. Cannot convert to an instance slot. Oh no. What did this do? What did this do? It passed in an instance. All right, that'll probably work, right? Yeah, great. Oh, let's try running this. It's been like, actually I can tell you how long it's been. It's been, I think, 40 minutes since I ran this. Just been trying to fix these errors. And there might be errors on other files that I'm about to find out now. Surprisingly, no. All right, so let's click create instance. That might have worked. Practically impossible to tell, but if we click win all battles and an item pops out of here. Nope, it did not work. All right, what happened? Unable to cast object of type sub viewport container to instance slot. Where is that happening from? Instances manager line 88. Slot sub viewport manager. Something's wrong. I never saved this. That's what's wrong. Well, that's an easy problem to fix. Let's try that again. Been pretty good. Need to disable the shields on my bank and credit card sites. I set up some Brave attention token thing years ago, and I feel like one of my viewers probably used Brave and is giving me their Brave attention tokens or something, because I somehow have like $5 worth of that currency. It's been, I don't know how many years, like 8 years, that person has generated $5 for me. How was Brazil other than the sickness implying? It was, yeah, I'll talk about it on Discord. I'll save things in that thread that we started. Feel free to just copy paste your question over there and I'll respond to you over text. I just don't really want to talk about it on stream. All right, so does starting a battle work? Did it? I don't think so. Object not set to an instance of an object in instance slot 41. The viewport doesn't exist because I didn't add child second, or add child first, I mean. Where is this? Here. Oh, this needs to be added. Yeah, where do we put this? Yeah, sorry, Prestel. I don't mean to give you the runaround here. Where is instances manager? It's this. Yeah, so that should be fine. No, but it'll add it after the placeholder. Yeah, I don't really care. Yeah, I don't really care. Well, I kind of care, but I'll just fix that later. Is it launching? Yeah, good. All right, we still failing here? No, it's just not showing up now. Yeah, so now we need to give it some size. What if we just gave this a minimum size? Minimum size of... Oh, there's a very specific size this is supposed to be. I think it's just 1920 divided by 3. Yeah, sure, 640. Let's do that. See if that works. I don't know. Nope. Or it's off screen. It's kind of impossible to tell. Let's give it a minimum size here too. Minimum height. Does that work? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, it might just be off screen. We've got this thing here. If I were to increase the size, that's the wrong size. If I were to increase this size, yeah, it goes off to the right side. The placeholder goes away though. What is happening with this? Stretch ratio is set to 1. Maybe the instance slot should just be set to fill the container. It is set to fill. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Oh, wait, there we go. We got presumably a battle window in there. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Oh, it's the same issue that I had originally here. This minimum size, this needs to change. It needs to expand with each instance that I add. And there's no way to do what I'm trying to do with this. Oh, wait, I could put... Oh, how does this work? I could put the sub viewport above this thing. No. Do we need a sub viewport? I don't know. I don't know about this. Yeah, what if I just put this up here? I don't know what, oh, then we're gonna have this covering the entire screen, I guess. Let's just shrink this. Retired Android, thanks for the resub. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. All right, there we go. We got something showing here. So I guess we don't need a sub viewport container. Why does this look so bad? Because we're using the camera zoom? Yeah, I don't want the camera zoom to be what's taken into account for that. I don't know what to do about that though. Where even is the camera? It's here. I'm guessing the camera zoom was originally 2 when I set it to 1. Yes, it was originally 2. Okay, I don't know. This is an awkward thing because of how Godot nodes work, or is it just awkward? You mean the sizing of this stuff? So originally this was taking up, like, imagine you got 100% of the screen and 60% is taken up with the map and then the 40% is taken up with the battles. So if you were to change those ratios, you would actually see one or the other shrink and they had dedicated space. But what I'm changing is I'm now allowing you to resize the window to pretty much any size you want, which means I can't have the battles always take up the full width of the screen. So we're trying to make them overlay on top of the map, which is why you can now see like trees are getting covered by the battle view. Whereas before you just couldn't. I guess this is a good example. Like there's no way to see the bottom left corner of the map right now. When's lunchtime? Probably pretty soon. So the issue is this thing isn't taking up the full size of the screen. I could set it to take up the full size. 1920. 288, I think. Yeah, and then position this, whoops. Not like that. There, yeah. Okay, let's try that out. So we start a battle, start another battle, start another battle. Something is wrong with this. Why is it getting positioned the way that it is? Oh, because this is still taking up space. Which is why I had that code that is now deleted. Want to check my number 3? Probably at the end of September. I think we have enough time to get done with the stuff I wanted to do. It was this list. The resolution stuff we are working on right now. The new player experience we've been working on. Post-battle stat shouldn't be too bad. This shouldn't be too bad. And then a lot of the tech debt stuff. There's more to it than just this. We'll probably add in a new character. In fact, Quickie Joe just made the Paladin. Let me show you the graphic for it. Hang on, it's a little bit hard to show because I need to save it first and then open it up and give me a sec. Okay. So here's the Paladin character. And we kind of designed the Paladin, not totally, like their abilities, I mean. Let me see if I've got that somewhere. Paladin. Where is it? Yeah, general idea was Oh man, okay, we got to finish this. But they'd have an ability called Holy Light. Every time you take damage, you generate one ray of light. When you reach 15 rays, you heal the party in the way that they need it the most. So like it distributes it amongst your allies. Didn't we talk about having 2 auras though? I think Quickie Joe just made a typo in the file name. That's all. Do we have? I could have sworn I wrote this down somewhere. Ah, 2 passives, and they have a 3rd ability. What's the second passive I talked about though? Oh, this would be a passive, and this would be a passive, and then they have. Okay. I see. Yeah. Good to shake the snow globe sometimes. Yeah, I wrote about it in the vacation command, which unfortunately links to Discord, so it's a very circuitous way for you to find out about it. But if you want to read more, you can read there. Anyway, I am pretty happy with the ideas behind this, and there's some code we'd have to change, but this would then be the 5th character class. It would also be the first character class that's a combination of tank and healer. So right now we have, I'd say like 1 tank, 2 damage dealers, and 1 healer. And in the future, I want pretty much every combination of stuff. Also, I feel like any summoner class could kind of fit several roles as well. So I wanted like 2 summoner classes, probably only 2. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, then we'll have the paladin, and then I don't remember. Yeah, I think a summoner will be the 6th one. So checkpoint 3 will probably have those 6 classes. Add 2 more classes. Paladin plus summoner. Yeah. All right. So I probably need that code to get revived. Where is that? Here. Battle placeholder. Num visible equals 1. To have otherwise 1. Didn't we also need to set it to? Yeah, there. Okay. I know what we need to do then. So when we add the instance slot, if we have 3 now, then set the placeholder to not be visible. And when we clear a slot, can we delete a slot now? We can't. Oh yeah, that was never possible. Otherwise we do this. Int num visible equals that. All right. Yeah, let's try that out. I think this is still going to be broken, and I think it's because of however this thing is getting positioned, this battle placeholder, but it's really hard to tell. No, that looks good. Okay. So now the next step would be getting this to not look like garbage. Oh boy. All right, so how do we do that? We need to have this take up. I want it to, actually, how do we get this to work? I want it to be center bottom. What just happened? The size got set to 200. I want it to take up whatever the width of the screen is. Oh, bottom wide. That's how. Okay, does that work? We might need to set a minimum size. I don't actually know. Yeah, I mean, that looks like trash. Why? What is this doing here? What is that? What is that indeed? We don't have an instance there. I don't know what that gray square is. Good, that's closed. Let me try this again. No, I see it even there. Okay, I gotta figure that out. Well, let's do create, create, create. And now can I resize the screen? Maybe. Yeah, maybe is all I can say. I don't think so though. No, they're not snapped to the right positions. That's the problem. I need this to be set back to a 2x zoom. Yeah, none. Got the vacation short? No. August 28th was always the plan. In fact, I think I even built it into my stream title. Yeah, last stream until August 28th. Yeah. And thank you, Seuss. Yeah. Okay, so what is that blank square? Oh, this? Oh, yeah, just turn that off. I didn't mean for that to be there. Create instance, create instance, create instance. Okay, we got to also change the center top left. Okay, cool. Now, what happens when we resize this? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I want these to take up less space. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Yeah, it was something. I described it in that Discord thread. In general, I'm happy to be back. I have really wanted to get some momentum on Skeleseller, and I feel like I haven't really been able to, or at least not the way I was thinking about. And I think all of the next month is pretty much planned. We got some good stuff we're going to work on. We'll hopefully test enough big changes to the game where we won't have any major questions remaining. Then if checkpoint number 3 goes well, we are just pretty much prepping for launch, which contains so many tasks, so many things to do. I want to figure this out, and then I think it's time to get lunch. The problem is this shouldn't be hard, and it is hard. So why is it so difficult? Battle placeholder. Is it because instance slots have a minimum size? Oh, well then that explains it. We just set this to 0. Wow, easy. Okay, now let's try running it. Yeah, just prepping for launch. Just a simple thing. Nice, it worked. Okay. Yeah, so now what we need to do is we need to, when they start overlapping like this and you can't see the whole battle, we need to shrink the zoom of the battle. Which probably means shrink the zoom of everything here. Yeah, thank you, Unknown. Yeah. Honestly, I think getting sick isn't so bad as long as you have a bed you can sleep in. I think the worst, one of the worst experiences of my life was getting sick and then having to fly for like 15 hours. That was absolutely miserable. Obviously, no one wants to get sick, but if you at least have a bed and a way to sleep and medication, I think it's generally fine. But yeah, I never ever want to do that again. All right, this has gone pretty well. Yeah, it's gone pretty well. So for those who didn't catch what happened this morning, one of the big problems of the build I released last time is that the game, I don't remember exactly what, either it wouldn't scale up to meet your window size, so you'd have a bunch of black bars around it, or it would scale up, but then the font was really blurry. I forgot which one. Either way, both of those are problems. Either you have massive black bars around the game, or you can't read the text in the game. So both are kind of showstoppers. And what we did is we changed it so that now when you create a battle, this is an overlay on top of the world rather than being dedicated space that takes up what the world would have taken up. So it's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, you can't see the bottom of the world now. Like the battles are covering it. Whereas before, the world would have had dedicated space and I could have scrolled even farther down. And the reason we're doing this is so that when you do resize the game window, with the worlds, you just see more of the world. That's totally fine. But with the battles, eventually what we need to do is, as you shrink these, we need to shift into a different view altogether where they take up half of the size. So they'll be really tiny, which may not be great. I'm not sure. We'll still need to test this out a little bit more. Actually, we could hide a few tiles of this. Yeah, we could allow the battles to get a little bit smaller and still show all of the details. I gotta do that. First, we should just chop off a few tiles on either side before shrinking the camera. Shrinking will make it very difficult to tell what's happening. Flu last year, the bad flu, had to wear a mask. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely tough. First time staying at my partner's parents' house for Christmas was miserable and embarrassing. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. This is such a bad conversation starter. Like, hey, everyone, you want to share your stories of misery? But I appreciate it. Yeah, so tabs, the reason I didn't want tabs is I always wanted the battles to be in your face. And if you have tabs, then it means that you would have to click between them to see what's happening. And that way it's like, okay, the town stuff can be happening. You can be, you know, building up your town, watching stuff get sold, and then glance down at the battles and realize, whoa, I'm dying in these battles. I'm concerned that if you put them into tabs and then you can't look at them all at the same time, that people would be like, oh, I just had no idea that a battle wasn't even running the whole time. Or, oh, I wasn't battling in the right location or something like that. And it would just be one more thing you'd have to manage. So I think if we just shrink them a little bit at first, like honestly, even this isn't too bad if they're just centered here. And then once they get too small, maybe to like this size, then we could shrink them to half of the zoom level that we're at now. Had a quick weekend vacation plan in advance, then started feeling minor cold symptoms. Oh man, that's really good, Unknown. You like deferred your sickness. Could the battles stack covering the town? When you say stack, what do you mean? Because they are covering the town right now. It's just not obvious. If I restart the game, it'll be more obvious. So I'll only start 2 of these. So you can see, imagine this is a battle. It is covering the town right now. But if you're saying, could the battle windows like stack on top of each other? I think that would be tough. Because you can see already at this size, we don't have enough space to show the whole battle taking place. We need at least like maybe this much, and then we need to shift the camera a little bit. Followed my advice and got the job. Nice, congrats. I don't even remember what my advice was, but yeah, congratulations. I'm proud of you, Lumen. You did it in this environment. 2x3, 3 across 2 rows. Oh, I see what you mean. At least I think I see what you mean. Like if you didn't have enough space horizontally that we started putting them on top of each other. I suppose we could do that. Would it be a good idea if you didn't have enough space this way? No, never mind. I was going to say we could stack them vertically, but the problem with stacking them vertically is that it would take up. Let me just take a picture here. All right, copy this, put this into GIMP. Did that work? Oh, I was holding Alt when I did that. Yeah, so imagine something sort of like this, I guess. We like take this out of here and we put it over here. Okay, I know there are 4 battle windows showing, but imagine that this one is not there. So let's just delete this. Yeah, so we could stack the battle windows like this, but I think that's going to take up too much of the window. And I'm not totally sure that was it was ask questions. Okay, good. You think that's better? I guess we'd never run into the problem where you can't see all the battles, but then you might run into the problem where you don't have enough of the town stuff happening. Like seeing what's going on in the town is pretty important. And imagine that this is like the maximum width I could get to because the battles are taking up the space that is not currently taken up over here. It's still not bad. There's enough space that's visible. And I guess you could zoom out a little bit more too. It could be a setting. You could just choose whether you want battles to show up vertically or horizontally. And maybe you can only have it be the horizontal version if there's enough space. I don't know. I think this is stuff we'll have to try after lunch. Yeah. So I will take this time to show you one other thing. I've been working on the music, and we got to about maybe like, what is this? Yeah, about the 1 minute mark. And then I just stopped. I just didn't have time to work on it anymore. Resize a vertical bar to shrink or expand the battlefield. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's sort of like this right here, right? Like I could, oops, apparently I can't control that. Where's the, yeah, like this. Like you're saying you have something like this kind of control, and you can just change how much is showing. No, I'm going to click play. I just wanted to warn people first that I'm about to play music and I don't know what the sound level is going to be at. So you might want to preemptively turn your audio down. But this is going to be the theme, well, one of the themes that plays in the town. So I'm going to start the game. Imagine this, and I'm going to start the music. All right, that's all I got. It just kind of repeats at that point. But yeah, that was several hours more work yesterday. Mostly just kind of polishing things, changing some instruments around. But I like it. I think it fits. I think it's pretty good. You already know how to make it and now apply it to game dev, or did you learn via game dev? A bit overwhelming as a noob to both. So I played piano for many, many years, and I've taken various music theory and composition classes. When it comes to game dev, I did this with the Botland music as well, which is I just like struggled my way through the whole thing. And it's like, it's a little overwhelming to me too, because I wouldn't say I'm a great composer or anything. So I get to this point where I'm like, okay, what do we need to work on here? And a lot of it is just sort of based on how it feels. It's like, oh, well, the bass is gone here. Let's add some more bass. And then it's like, well, is it interesting enough? Will it get frustrating if you hear this 10 times? If I were listening to this on YouTube afterward, I'd be like, yeah, that's a cool soundtrack. So it is still tough. Piano sound could be better, not composition, but the actual sound. Which VSTs you use for it? I actually like the piano sound, but let me see, because I don't remember which one I used. I used this one inside of Flex. Essential Pianos, Close Grand. Probably Closed Grand. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go get lunch. Thank you for listening to music. Thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for all the resubs, everybody. I'm back from vacation, so it should just be streams for the next, like, probably a couple months without really any interruption. Or, you know, maybe a day here or there that I end up taking. But yeah, I'll be back in about an hour, and then I'll stream for another maybe 2 or 3, and we'll just keep working on this stuff. Have I tried a felt piano on it? I haven't. I'll have to give it a shot at some point, Pretzel. Well, thanks for watching. Bye, everybody. See you later.